Okay, so we're at Waterford Hills Raceway in Michigan. This is my local track. I've raced it maybe like 5 or 6 times before, and we're racing the Civic today. I actually already took it out 2 times. The first time was a brake pad betting session. I didn't really get on it too much. The second time was me like learning the car. I gotta say, I'm actually really impressed, and maybe not impressed is the word, but surprised. The thing handles really well. So I'm gonna take you guys along and show you what it's like to drive, get a little POV. Yeah, let's get into it. All right, we're in the Civic. Quick rundown, completely stock engine, stock tune. I have coilovers, a rear sway bar. I have Hawk, what are they called? DTC, whatever, 60 brake pads, track pads. They're doing pretty well. Suspension work, and that's kind of about it. To be honest, this is a very stock Civic, so that's basically it, but I'll put everything down below. Yeah, it's open lapping. Let's just go out and have some fun. I've done 2 sessions today, so I've got a decent understanding of how to drive this car. It's not the quickest thing in the world, but actually I think it's faster than my old turbo Miata, which is saying a bit because this has 60 wheel horsepower less, arguably probably like 70 wheel horsepower less. But the addition of ABS really does make a difference. All right, we'll wait till we are flagged. All right, we got clear track. Get these tires up to temp. Get the car up to temp as well. One thing that's immediately noticeable is how little power this car has. It has very little power down low, which makes it kind of hard to get out of turns quickly. All right, we should be getting up to temp. We'll start to push it a little bit. Got some gravel right out there on that straightaway. I'll have to remember that. But overall, I'm really impressed with how well this LSD is working with the entire car. There really haven't been a lot of areas where I've just been waiting for the car to turn because of understeer. It's very, very easy to just turn it in and kind of, the car does a lot of the work for you. Brake pads have been pretty good. Not too many complaints. NX suspension is also very good. I usually hop that curb, and honestly, there's no difficulties. The damping, I think, is 6 clicks from full stiff, and that seems like a really good spot for the car. Nice and easy to rev match too. ExtremeContact O2s, they definitely fade after about 5 or 6 hot laps, not much more than that. But they really do communicate very well. All that tire squeals let me know that I'm kind of on the edge. Still trying to figure out this turn. It's a little bit weird with the gearing. I almost think it has slightly shorter gears than my Miata. Makes it a little bit odd in some places. But yeah, just full throttle. It's definitely a slow car, fast kind of mentality. You gotta push every single turn because you do not have a whole lot of power to utilize. Oh man, but it's feeling great. Honestly, I am so impressed. Little bit of understeer there. You can tell these tires are starting to kind of starting to fall apart a little bit. Oh yeah, I'm loving this, dude. Let's push this brake zone. I can go even more than that, to be honest. Yeah, getting some understeer there. This is probably the hardest that I pushed the car all day. Drag it wide, cut in. Oh, honestly, I'm kind of loving this car. I think I'm working really well with it. It's not saying a lot because it's basically a stock car. It's pretty easy to drive. But I've already upset a couple cars that cost basically 6 times as much as this. For example, we're coming up, I think on a Chevy SS. Yep, Chevy SS. That's a very late point behind. That's okay though, we got it, we're good. I love driving a slow car fast. I think that car has basically 3 times the amount of horsepower as this little guy. Yet it's all down to the driver. Unless that guy's on a warm-up, then I feel bad for saying this. Probably do one more hot lap, then cool it down. It does suck not having an oil temp gauge. I'm very much guessing that the car's okay, but you know, whatever. It's a Civic, it's a Honda, it's fine. Oh yeah. The downhill section is so fun. This section I have no clue what to do, and it's also very scary. There's a wall that a lot of people hit, so it's a little bit nerve-wracking. Brakes are kind of toast there. They're starting to get some fade. Do one more lap. I'm also realizing I forgot to turn traction control off. All right, it's off. Whoopsie! All right, we're cooling it down now. I have no idea what times I just did. I see a 117, but I think that's left over from Will. There's no way that would be this car. I don't think so. I don't think it could be this car or me as a driver. All right, and we are off track. Man, I gotta be honest, I'm loving this car. It is so unbelievably easy to drive, and it's just really rewarding, honestly. The transmission feels good. The engine, while it doesn't have a lot of power down low, it still feels good to rev out. So man, I'm very impressed. I kind of want to modify this car more because I'm really starting to kind of fall in love with it. So we'll see how how this goes. There might be some mods coming when I get out of here. Okay, so it's been about a week since I did the track day with the Civic, and I wanted to give like a good summary of my thoughts on how the car performed. And I just want to preface everything by saying that the mods that I did are kind of like, in my opinion, the best mods you can do for like a daily driver. They really didn't take away anything from the stock car, didn't change it drastically. I think it just overall improved everything. So again, mods in the description if you want to check them out. Let's start out with the most important thing on any car. And those are the tires. I'm running Continental ExtremeContact Sport 02s. That's a mouthful. They are a 340 treadwear tire that honestly, they are fantastic street tires, and they're okay track tires. After about 10 minutes, you could really feel them starting to kind of fade, and you'd lose a little bit of confidence in the grip levels, but they really make up on the street. They are perfect on the street. I have no complaints at all. I think that they're amazing tires. These also communicate really well. As soon as you start to lose grip, they start to kind of scream at you and make a tire screeching noise, which is perfect for learning any car on track. I mean, that's what you want. You don't want it to just break away out of nowhere. They're awesome street tires and they hold up on track. So definitely highly recommend if you don't care about the fastest lap time. All right, now on braking performance, I have Hawk DTC 60 pads all around. These are good. I don't really have a whole lot of complaints on track performance. I felt really confident near the starts of the sessions, and near the end, I really didn't feel a whole lot of fade. I definitely wasn't as confident as I was, near the start. I think maybe the brakes on this car are a little bit small, and in the future, hey, maybe, there's a lot of like budget brake kits that you can do for Hondas, which is really great, fantastic. But for now, I think they're solid. Definitely on the street though, they suck. They dust a lot, and they're also very loud. So I'm probably gonna swap them in and out, depending on track day schedule. For suspension, the Annex coilovers actually kind of surprised me. Annex is a really small company, so to be honest, I wasn't expecting a whole lot. I don't think that they'd be offended if I said that. Honestly, I didn't expect much. I was really surprised. The damping adjustment felt really good. I eventually landed on, I think, 18 or 19 clicks out of 24, which 24 is the full stiff. So it was getting up there for sure. But yeah, I honestly, they felt really good. I felt confident in terms of body roll handling, and I don't know, overall, I don't really have a lot of complaints. Definitely highly recommend. If you want, you can use my coupon. You save a little bit of money. I would recommend. I made sure to, like ask Annex basically. I was like, hey, do you guys mind like, if I don't like your coilovers, I'm gonna say it on video, and they're like, yeah, go for it. So I'm not actually lying to you, they feel solid. I would not lie. That would be just kind of dumb, honestly. Transmission felt great. I had no grinds on upshifts or downshifts. Heel towing was pretty easy as well. So I think all the transmission work that I did definitely paid off. If you haven't seen that video, definitely check it out. I did quite a lot of work on this transmission, and yeah, it paid off. The engine felt great to rev out. It definitely was not, the fastest car in the world. Didn't expect that. What was a little bit annoying was the between corner acceleration, right? So cars with a lot of low, to mid-range power or torque, whatever you want to call it, they do really well between corners. But this there were a lot of times where I would just be flat out during a corner, and because I wasn't in VTEC in like the highest possible gear, it wouldn't really accelerate that quickly, and it kind of was a little bit annoying. I think lowering VTEC point is going to be huge for this car. Honestly, I think that's going to make a big difference, so I'm really excited to throw an intake on here, and I might also do a header, but I think those, you know, just bolt-ons and the tune, I think honestly would make this car way more fun to drive through tight corners where you're, you know, on and off throttle really kind of rapidly. So I think that would definitely help out a lot. I also didn't experience any overheating issues on track. The coolant temp gauge stayed right in the middle. That's the only gauge that I have. I have literally no idea what the engine oil temp was. I'm assuming it's fine. Who knows? But yeah, I am incredibly impressed with this car, and I'm also pretty satisfied. This thing was a blast to drive on track. My brother took it out, and yeah, this is about 7 seconds slower than his Elantra N, but he hopped out of it with an absolute smile on his face, and he said it was a complete blast. It's not just me. This car is really fun on track. It's fun. It's playful. It's just this nice little car that it's a good time. The fastest time I could do was a 124.3. I think I could do a half second quicker if I brought this car back next week or whatever and set a real flyer. I think it could be a half second quicker for sure. Last year I did a 121.4 in my Turbo Miata. It's important to note though that I had RT660 tires on, which are substantially more grippy than these, so I think honestly, if I threw similar tires on this car and then also tuned it and modified it a little bit for some extra power, I think it would probably be just as quick, if not a little bit quicker. I think ABS definitely helps this car out for sure compared to my old Miata. Maybe I'll have to experiment with that because I kind of like this car now. I was like, I don't know, I was iffy on it before, but it's a good car, man. It's just a fun little car, and it was just a blast. Honestly, I could not recommend tracking your 8th gen enough. Very solid on track. Do a couple mods and you're flying, you're having a good time with a smile on your face. That's what matters. This is not a competition car, it's just for fun. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Apologies for the long summary at the end, but I thought it was important to kind of touch on everything. If you liked the video, give it a like. If you want to see more content, definitely subscribe. And yeah, see ya.